All right, today we're talking about something that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction, but is actually becoming a reality as we speak. We're going to dive into the quantum internet and the absolutely incredible promise it holds for our digital world. So let's get into it. But first, just think about this for a second. What if our entire digital world was completely unhackable? Imagine your bank account, your private messages, all of your most sensitive data. What if it was all fundamentally, physically impossible to hack into? What would that even look like? It's a huge question, and it gets right to the core of what this is all about. You see, the difference between the internet we use every day and this new quantum one, well, it all boils down to this one crucial point. Our current internet is, by its very design, vulnerable. But the quantum internet? It's built on a foundation that's secure not because of some clever software, but because of the actual laws of physics. Okay, so keeping that fundamental difference in mind, let's break down why we even need this new, unhackable internet. Think about it. Our entire world, we're talking global finance, national security, even just our personal DMs, it all runs on a digital system that has a major flaw. It can be broken into. The encryption we rely on today is basically just based on really, really hard math problems. But hard doesn't mean impossible, especially with the kinds of supercomputers that are on the horizon. So, how in the world do you build an internet that's physically impossible to hack? Well, the answer takes us into the wonderfully bizarre world of quantum mechanics. It all starts with something called a qubit. Now, the internet we use runs on bits, which are always either a 0 or a 1. Pretty straightforward, right? A qubit, though, is the quantum version, and thanks to a wild property called superposition, it can be a 0, a 1, or, and this is the crazy part, both at the exact same time. This ability to exist in multiple states at once is the first key to its incredible power. And now for the part that really bends your brain, quantum entanglement. Imagine you have two particles that are linked together in this incredibly special way. They basically act as a single entity. Now, no matter how far apart you pull them, across a room or even across a continent, if you measure one of them, you instantly know the state of the other. It's a perfect, unbreakable, instantaneous connection. This connection was so weird, so counterintuitive, that Albert Einstein himself famously called it spooky action at a distance. I mean, that tells you everything, right? It's this spooky connection that forms the absolute backbone of the quantum internet. Okay. So we've got this mind-bending, spooky science. But how do we actually turn that into an unhackable communication system? How does this spooky action stop a hacker? Well, it works like the ultimate digital tripwire. Here's how it goes down. First, you encode information using these entangled qubits. Then you send one of the particles to someone to create a secure key. But here is the genius part. If a hacker tries to intercept and look at that particle, the very act of observing it instantly shatters its quantum state. That collapse is an immediate, unmistakable alarm bell for both the sender and the receiver. The intrusion is detected the very moment it happens. Game over for the hacker. So when you just lay it all out side by side, the difference is it's night and day. The classical internet is all about trying to build a better, more complicated lock. The quantum internet designs a system where the key literally vaporizes if anyone but the right person even touches it. It's a total paradigm shift. And trust me, this is not just some cool science experiment. The applications for this technology are poised to completely transform our most critical industries. The biggest benefit, obviously, is ultra-secure communication. We're moving from security that's just really difficult to break to security that is physically impossible to break without getting caught. And the possibilities that unlocks are just world-changing. For example, think about finance. We're talking about fraud-proof banking, where every single transaction is secured by the fundamental laws of nature itself. Or how about national security? Military and government communications that are absolutely 100% guaranteed to be private. And then there is healthcare. It could create a future where your most personal, sensitive medical data can be shared with total and complete privacy, shielded from any prying eyes. Okay, so this technology is clearly a massive game changer. And that's exactly why there is a huge global race happening right now to be the first to build it. And this isn't just happening in some university lab. We're talking major world powers investing billions of dollars. China actually launched the first quantum satellite way back in 2016. The US, the EU, India, they're all pouring massive resources into building out their own networks. The race is definitely on.
But let's be real, this is incredibly hard to do. That spooky connection is super fragile and really difficult to maintain over long distances. The hardware you need is insanely complex and sensitive, and the cost of building an entirely new global infrastructure is just astronomical. We're still in the very, very early stages of figuring out how to scale this thing up.
So, even with all these massive hurdles, the quantum era is coming. So, what is it actually going to look like? What does all this mean for us?
Now, this is a really important thing to get right. The quantum internet isn't going to replace the internet we use to scroll social media or watch cat videos. Think of it more like a super secure layer that works alongside it. It's like a quantum armored car for our most valuable, most sensitive digital information.
We are genuinely, and this is not an exaggeration, standing at the dawn of a new quantum era. By grabbing hold of these strange and powerful rules that govern the universe at its smallest level, we are about to completely reshape what it even means to be connected.
And that leaves us with one last fascinating question to think about. Once this network is really up and running, and we have a truly unhackable way to send a message, what's the very first secret we should protect with it?